Oh
They're
boy.
stable sacks that you've brought them.
I will help you out, and I will give you some guidance, and I'll give you some advantage.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 24.
So, um, you know that these things can remain in these sacks for uh, honestly years at a time, and it depends upon them. They are removed from it at a certain period of time. But they need to have been kept in complete darkness for at least a week before you can safely hatch them. If they've been exposed to sunlight, if the sack has been exposed to sunlight in that week, it could kill them whenever they come back, whenever they hatch. But after a week, you tear the thing off and release them because they can't bring themselves out of it.
I do have to help them. I need a box.
Yeah. Okay.
I need a big box.
Oh, okay. Well, they are cleaning out Nan's attic, and there's probably a lot of boxes there that need to be repurposed.
Does Nan have a big box?
I don't know. We can go ask him.
I need Nan's big box.
I mean, you can always have Zale hold them because he's being a little bit downcast recently.
Oh. I don't know if I trust him with them.
No, that's probably really good.
It might rub off on them badly.
Oh no.
Are you actually hatching spiders in this house?
Sounds like it.
Mm-hmm.
I have something to do over here.
Cat coughs. He's just the man on the science. I don't know what that means, but we'll see that out. I say to Babette as we should probably get some water since it's really dusty in there.
Yeah.
How are things looking up there?
Think about selling some of these. I mean, I have 3. I don't need 3. Should we sell 2? Guys, should we?
I
Well,
could probably find someone to sell them to.
Oh, you can do like a trade. You know, like if you want to get something, and then you can trade with a shop or somebody who has
This leverage is also possible.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, because these are face spiders, right? Yeah. I mean.
Yeah.
Gran was always telling me they're really weird. I mean, weird in the great way because who knows? There might be more spiders here.
I mean, like, from my understanding, each sack is going to have 2 spiders in it.
Oh yeah,
one phase and one not phase.
And
I need to keep them both alive.
Okay. Well, I'll look over to Babette. Do you know any underground spider rings that we can sell these spiders to?
Underground spider
I
rings.
mean, the other thing is Armin is going to notice the pickle drink. Like, what's that?
His name is Alfred.
The drake, or?
Yes.
Well, I wouldn't know it's a drake. That thing, or?
Yes, this thing. I plan on experimenting with it.
Okay. Well, whoever you got that from might appreciate some spiders.
Maybe.
Nope.
That's a very smart idea.
That reward system, you help me. We always say you scratch my back, I scratch yours. Yeah.
Do you have an itch?
I have an itch for knowledge. Yeah.
I imagine as Kang saying that though, do you have an itch? He's sort of like held up one of his hands, he's making like slight little scratching motions.
Yeah. She'll actually just hold up her owl so you can scratch the owl instead. Just, yeah.
Ah, the owl has an itch.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you. Well,
Fair enough.
I'm gonna go set up a little training thing outside and back, so I'll let you guys
At what
continue.
time is it right now?
Probably I have like an hour or left rounding up.
I mean, we could always just time travel.
Yeah, Hanu's just gonna spend the rest of her time doing some light training in the background, doing some monk shit, so you guys can do whatever you want.
My main concern is has Zil got back?
I know exactly, that's why she's like, Kak.
Oh, yes, I'll get on that.
Say that I'm really hungry for some vengeance if he doesn't come back here with my bird's food.
Yeah, alright. Kek will send to Zale. Like, Honu is wondering if you're coming back. Very specific wording, mind you. Not when are you coming back, if you're coming back. But I think he's AFK.
I think he watched so many people that he himself became a people to watch. Oh no.
The crowd gathered around him.
man.
Him go, leave me alone! They
Look
were
at that
like,
white
"Oh,
hair,
what a
those
strange
red
man."
eyes, and then he's like, "Oh god, oh god."
Stop.
It's so strange. Someone poking him with a stick. Someone else like, don't touch it. You
Zil
don't know what it might do.
Zil says he. What was the thing he said?
Honu is wondering if you're coming back.
I'll be back. That's it.
Okay, when are you coming back?
Spell number 2.
Yep.
Before we have to go.
Okay, we'll turn to Honu. I don't think he knows when he's coming back. I wonder if he got lost.
You know,
Mine. I know what time we have to go, what time it takes to get back.
the maze of his mind is a labyrinth. Surely he has never seen light within them, Hanu says, dramatically
The inner
staring off to the
mechanisms
distance.
of his mind are an enigma.
Ah, I am going to go put up these sandbags so I can cook them. I will see you guys whenever we need to go. Okay?
Can I help?
Yeah, sure, if you want. I mean, you know what? You are really tall. You can help, like, throw some rope up there. 'Cause
Kak is gonna cast his unseen servant and have that do it. And he's just gonna stand there.
I know. Hanu's like, whoa! I can't see it at all!
I told you it was unseen.
No way! I thought, like, at least cast, like, a shadow or something, so it's really invisible. She'll just wave her hands around.
You'd feel it.
I know, just What are you naming him?
Leroy.
That's a good question.
No.
What do you name something you can't see?
I think it's called
Wayne.
a theory.
John.
Oh,
Yeah.
all right. His name is a theory.
Ah. I mean, if you
I've
say
never
it-
heard this before, but that sounds fair.
Yeah, isn't it like if you have an idea that you can't really prove, you always have a theory first until you have empirical evidence.
Oh, a theory.
Yeah, a theory.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, I understand what you're trying to say, and I appreciate that. That actually makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay, anyways, I'm gonna go. She's having asking your unseen servant to help her out, just doing some monk obstacles. she'll bring out the fishing spears and tuck them. She'll first pat the ground in certain areas and say, "I am so sorry for this," and just like spear the ground and then do some other and then use that to go wrap some rope to do certain stuff. But yeah, that's what she's doing for the next few hours. So I don't know what you guys are gonna be doing.
I mean, Summer's gonna get as far as he can in this attic work.
Yeah, Liza's still just snooping around and drinking.
I bet we'll join in the drinking.
Elias and Bobbit pre-gaming. I see you. I see you.
Yeah, you're not quite day drunk, but you're day buzzed and moves into the afternoon and comes about time for you guys to head out. See the sun beginning to set.
Okay. Zarman will walk over to see. Well, we have dinner planned with somebody. We'll be back after that. Unless you plan on coming along too. I don't know if you'd want to go over to Stranger's Place or it.
Well, everybody's a stranger until you get to meet them. Are you really inviting me along on one of your adventures?
Sure.
Oh, okay, I'm gonna go, man.
Okay. Yeah.
And she skips up the steps, and she's gone.
Oh, yeah.
Comes back down a little bit later with a wide flowered hat, and bag slung over her shoulder. You can see Mr. Whiskers with his little scar on his eyes, kind of like peeking out from the back. He kind of like peeks his head out, looks at the group, like just narrow eyes, and then yawns a big cat yawn, and then goes back in the bag.
Yeah.
And she's like, all right. So when we get there, don't bring up the vampire stuff. He's really touchy about it.
Hmm.
I will
Okay.
take that into consideration. I make no promises.
But what happens if I like really wanted garlic bread though?
What about garlic bread? Ezel's walking back in
Bill's
with
back.
yeah. Ezel's walking back in with the bag.
Oh, he's still alive. Interesting.
What do you mean still alive?
We were talking about how our lives might be short-lived if we're gonna be bringing up vampirism to our host. So when we get there, don't bring up anything to do with drinking blood or living forever.
Hmm.
Sounds fine.
Frederick Nikolai Vidrokshotten is very, well, touchy about it.
Zarman nods.
Anu shrugs and looks at everybody else. Be like, okay, well, social encounters are the toughest obstacles to ever go through. She'll nod over to Fee, where Mr. Whiskers is trying to sleep. Be like,
Having dinner with a vampire?
yeah, that should be like a play title or something.
Are we having dinner with a vampire, or is a vampire having dinner of us?
And that will be the subtitles that they would have. I think they're called subtitles, right? That thing that they put underneath the as we were like going around the city, there was like pictures with them words that I guess you could kind of
With them words.
yeah.
That was super southern.
With them words, guys.
Well, anyway, Fee, we
You're
have
funny, honey.
Yeah. Okay.
anyway we have reason to believe that that won't be the case.
Okay. Anyways, lead the way.
All right. Arthur leads the way out the door. Fee kind of like follows, like just like a few steps behind him. Make your way to Mont Noblesse. You once more see the towering, as you step through the portal and into the other district, you immediately notice the towering hospital once more. As you wind your way up the cobblestone, very hilly streets of Mont Noblesse. All of the buildings here are kind of like built on an incline. His included on this, and as you once more approach the gates, you're fairly well on time. Arthur leads you there, and Zale, as you look at your watch, it is hitting 6 o'clock right as you arrive. And you see, as you approach, the doors, almost in reaction to your presence for the gate, they creak open.
Are these also unseen servants?
All right.
And we'll say to Kek.
I'm pretty sure you
I
just
can't see
gave our
them.
names to the gate.
So, just to remind all of us, why are we talking to this person again?
He might have a lead on the thief.
Yes.
He was something of an uncle to me for a time, and I remember him bragging a lot about once catching the world's greatest thief. I figure there can only really be one greatest thief. That's what greatest means, right?
Wait. If he's
Seen many establishments claim to have the greatest, though.
Are you sure it
Libra.
was actually a literal thief? Because she leans in. If he's a vampire and he doesn't have a heart, maybe it was somebody who captured his heart.
You're being a little too creative.
I didn't realize you liked those kinds
Yeah,
of
I mean,
Well,
the idea of him ever having a heart to be stolen. That is hilarious. Keep your guard up.
Okay, sure. Yep, they got it. Nobody's chomping on me.
I mean, it's not surprising, Tom. They are definitely the greatest, even though in the rots.
You kind of having this conversation as you step through the gates. They close right behind you, and you can hear like a click sound from within the lock on the gate. Just as you like approach the door, and you're discussing this with each other. Not Arthur walks up, and you can see this iron knocker on the front of it that is. It looks like a screaming face, like wrought iron put on the front of it. And as he takes the iron ring underneath it and he hits it underneath it, the screaming face actually lets out this wail. And it echoes through, and you can hear as it disappears within the confines of this home.
Really
Well,
have his
A few moments later,
really his organ.
he hates this house.
I can see why.
The door opens suddenly, right? Like a sudden open. You can kind of see you see Frederick standing there. Human dark hair, deep set eyes, bags underneath them, pale, kind of pallid skin. He looks past you all. He's well dressed, clean shaven. His hair is a little like tousled, but the rest of him seems fairly well put together. And he like looks at you all, looks past you all. Yes, welcome. Please come in. Welcome to Willow's Edge. And as he opens it, you see inside. It's very similar to when you went inside of Lady Lysandra's home, but her home had been dusty and hadn't looked like the servant who had answered it there had not been doing any cleaning. And though you see no sign of servants here, the house on the inside is immaculately clean. As you step in, there's these sconces set in the walls that give like this low bluish light throughout the entire inside, kind of giving it this somewhat cold look. But you can see the warm light of an orange glow coming from the room to the right, where these wide open doorway is, with two double doors that have been that slide into the walls, have been opened partially, just enough that you could walk through them. But you could swing them open wide enough to be 15 feet across. And inlaid into the wood of those doors, you can see that they're carved with this relief that depicts what looks to be winged humanoid creatures doing battle with what look to be like horned, clawed creatures from below. So you see like these clawed creatures kind of digging up from the bottom, looking like almost just like hands and limbs sticking up out of the bottom of the wood. And on the top portion are just these winged creatures in various poses of battle, throwing spears, swords in their hands, just carved into the wood. Down the hallway that you've entered into, it goes down about 60 feet, a long hallway with a few pieces of furniture that have picture frames and stuff set on them. And the walls themselves are adorned with just a huge plethora of paintings and photographs that have been put into frames covering most of the wall. They're well cleaned. You can see that like everything here is dusted, has a nice sheen to it. The pictures themselves, though they're all of different sizes, they're all very neatly kind of Tetrised into the space covering the walls down this hallway. This is the foyer, but we will be having dinner here. Please don't touch anything. Much of this house is warded.
Looking around, do I see a lot of magical shit around us right now?
Yeah, pretty much the outlines of every single one of the pictures, and even some of the figures in some of the pictures are giving off magical auras. A lot of abjuration and illusion.
Goes like, do not touch anything.
Yeah, do these depict any specific historical moment, or is it just...
Looking in, they appear to be portraits of like people. Like some of them a couple of people, some of them just individual portraits. They all share the same kind of really dark set eyes that he has. pretty much everybody in this family are, you can tell they're all related. Tousled black hair, curly, deep-set eyes, grayish. Though it's hard to tell in some of them because they're black and white photos, but the ones that are oil paintings, you can see. This seems to just be family pictures.
Okay.
Those creatures on the
As you're
door.
looking at a couple of them, you notice that some of their eyes follow you as you guys
that's
follow.
why I was
Yeah.
just like, she walks back and
Yeah.
forth a little bit, be like, oh, okay, no, never mind.
Yeah, so just kind of looks at them. Zell, looking at the door, can you discern what those creatures are? The wing ones and the claw ones?
Yeah,
You could give me a religion check,
yeah, I'm kind of
It's-
looking at that too. I'll be like, oh, okay, I need.
both of y'all.
Natural fucking 20.
Yeah.
Nice.
Looking at this, you're not certain of what they're called. But there's something about it gives you this reminds you of a lot of the scrolls that you had read of various beliefs and superstitions that had shared themes of apocalypses, of cultures that you've heard about that have had various beliefs about an end times. And looking at this, it shares a lot of that. The idea of a war between the cosmic court and the world below. Or sometimes these are depicted as a war between, the clouds or the sky and the earth. Various religions have depicted this over time in different shades. You're not certain what these creatures are, though. Looking at the ones on the bottom, some of them do have a somewhat tiefling-like aspect to them.
Yeah, I guess as we're probably discussing this together, I'll be like, well, sometimes it also could be metaphorical. A lot of times kings would always surmise that this stuff happened because it was the apocalypse of their world as they know it. But those are kind of interesting.
That is very astute of you. What is your name, by the way? Oh, I am Frederick Nikolai Verrockschatten. Introductions I have not had in some time.
It's no problem. My name is Zell Wolfer. It's nice to meet you, Frederick.
He's leading you into this room that is just one long table. You can see that there's cabinets set across two of the walls on either side of the table that are like they got glass panes on the front of them, and inside you could just see various types of plates and china, different kinds of just really, really nice tableware. And but you can see that the table itself already has a full feast down the end of it. There's several like candelabra set throughout the table, and looking at it, there's no way that he cooked this himself. It's just way too grand of a meal. But this house is unsettlingly quiet. There's an abundance of chairs here. It could sit at least 30 people. It's a long table. And normally this was used for entertaining larger parties. I have little else. I hope that is fine. If we can Sit wherever is most comfortable. You see, he's kind of rubbing his hands like down his pants leg, like as he's talking.
Zell says, "That'll be fine. It's no problem whatsoever."
Yeah, no worries. And kind of will.
Zale, forward.
Yes, Peter.
And he just looks at the rest of you as he kind of
Yeah, no, he's looking
acknowledges your
between everybody
name.
else.
Gotcha.
Zerman
the cut.
off.
And I am Babette. And she does a little bow.
You noticed like he looks at you like a little startled when he heard, not you, but that Zarman, when you said your name. He got a little startled for a moment, and then he just nods, but then like turned his attention to Babette when she says it, and he's like nodding to each of you as you say it.
Hannah just says Storm Conch, gives a very stern nod, and then pulls out her chair. Pulls out another one to put Hanuamaka on there, and then motions for Fee to also put Mr. Whiskers if she wants on a separate chair, just making him extra comfy.
So she sets him in the chair, and there's like, there's now like 2 chairs between you and Fee that are occupied by these animals.
I mean, if Igor came along, he could take one too.
Yeah, I would pull that one for him. So.
That's funny.
That is the
He
essence of
looks
this.
at you, Cack.
Cack will just look at him and give a slight smile. Cack. And... Wait, is that everyone? Are we missing anyone?
Eliza.
Am I there? Sorry,
Yes, yes. No, yes, you're there.
No, I feel like someone's not actually here.
Oh, I think Cohen decided to take another nap.
Oh, of course, the cat thing. Oh, yes, alright, very well. Continue.
And Hannah actually looks around for a bit to wonder where the heck Wander is if he's here. And then
Looking around, you do not see Wander. He was kind of like asleep at the table at Rosemarie's last you left him.
I will just take a quick glance underneath the table as I sit down and go, okay.
And Arthur Woodstock. And he as he was like hearing each of your introductions, on the other side of the table from like the animal seats, he was pulling out chairs and stuff. As each of you said your names, he kind of like pulled out a chair for each of you, and then he kind of sits, and you're all kind of like clustered at one end of the table, and so he's still sitting like on the side that you guys are sitting on.
Mm-hmm.
So, what brings your group to this city?
We had an incident with our airship, so we are waiting for repairs.
The unfortunate thing on the coast, no?
Yeah.
How are you, liking the city?
It's interesting. Everybody has a goal in mind when walking around. It's different.
It's a busy place for busy people. Please, eat. I had an assortment made. Some food from Alum and from the coast. So I had seafood prepared and there's wine.
Is it of
Yeah.
alien wine?
Yes, it is hard to find else. Yeah. I have some done in the cellar if it's not your liking.
Oh no, this should be lovely, thank you.
He looked like he was like halfway to standing up and then he nods.
Can I just make an insight check to see if he's putting out a little extra in this
Is he
whole
just
thing?
as socially awkward,
Or
or
is this socially awkward? Zell's kind of relating, so this is kind of like, is this just like if I was inviting guests? That's why Zell's
that
just
brief
wondering.
moment of eye connection, whereas I know how you feel, bro. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Give me an insight check.
Insight check of kinship.
Yeah. This guy just has not had company in like a while. He looks nervous, but he's trying to be friendly.
Mhm. Sure.
Hmm.
And he was a scholar, right? Like he works, or he often goes to the
Yeah,
floating towers.
he's in the cranium. So
Yeah,
Yes.
in the Arcanum.
What it's called.
so Dunk. So thank you for the dinner, by the way, Frederick. We honestly kind of curious. What do you do here in the city?
Oh, I study. I'm a student.
Oh, in the Arcadum? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yes. Are you a student as well?
No, I just arrived on the airship, so I didn't know how that place works. Though I would love to go to the libraries over there.
Yeah, he's a fellow academic. What is your research that you'd like to look into, or your favorite subjects? Because maybe you two have, I don't know, she looks between Zale and Frederick, like, nerd it out, please?
Zell
Um,
kind of chuckles at that.
Some of this and some of that.
Zell would
Arcane
say,
General.
dabblings.
Zell would actually say like an arcane theory of gravity, because Zell's been messing with that lately. I've been actually working on mumble jumble arcane shit.
Arcana Jonga.
Yeah.
Jargon. There we go.
Mhm.
I like manga.
I was actually trying to see if I could find information on that kind of stuff.
Give me an Arcana check.
Mm-hmm.
See how
That's
intelligent
something
come across.
funny I did in chat was just click Divine Sense just to see if I get anything.
He stiffens when you mention the initial stuff of it, but then when you start getting into some of the details, oh yeah, yes, some of the math has been interesting, but it's not a. It's a new field. That's not much. But it is exciting. Yes, very much so.
It's very
You
exciting.
have a firm grasp of it for something that's so new. Um,
Kind of stumbled onto it, but I've been kind of making it my own. It's
how
quite
did you
intriguing.
stumble onto this?
Precursor runes. There's a lot down in Koyako, and
Oiko, that's um, south of Maiko's Wrath.
yes,
Yes. Uh,
through those precursor runes, I've learned quite a bit, and in this case, I've well, guess old knowledge is now new knowledge, and in those ruins, it has
the precursors were much ahead of their time.
Mhm.
We are cheapened at the exit. But it is not all lost, and there's nothing that is lost that cannot be found.
Yep, that's the beauty of history. It's, if anything, it's just unraveling a puzzle. And over here, she'll broadly gesture at the cat and give him a pat on the shoulder with some guidance. He's more into the biotech and field. And she watches proudly as he eats a lot of food. Yep. He's
I am.
So, did he eat a whole turkey? No.
That's true.
Probably.
It is a
Sorry, sometimes I've fastate. I can't help myself. Now, what was this about arcane mumbo jumbo?
He also
biotech is an interesting study. Misunderstood. Weird. I would be careful mentioning that to certain people here in Arvale. They are progressive in many ways, but not that.
Some
quite
people tend to be
suspicious.
squeamish.
Quite suspicious of enemy operating on bio.
I mean, we were talking
understandable.
about making like a really vamped up, like, no, sorry, ramp. I forgot like the phrasing, so I should probably wouldn't use that. Like a really intense version of like a Venus flytrap. So I could see why people would get squeamish. She'll look over to Kak like that was a good idea that we had.
I am
Yes.
That is eyebrows.
curious
Yes.
about your stumblings into this. You said you happened into it. Is this
Would you like to see something from that?
very much?
So would get up because probably not sitting right next to him, and he would show the gauntlet. I want to stare at
Yeah,
him.
as the glass that he's been holding in his hand of wine that he hasn't taken a single sip of this entire time breaks the stem of it entirely and spills across. He stands up. Is that how? Who are you? How? What is this about?
Sit down.
This is not an accident, is it?
I look at Arthur.
There's like mid drink. Oh, fuck. Alright, alright. Well, it's okay. So I knew how to bump into you, to be honest. We needed to meet you. You, needed. That's kind of hard to explain. What do you know about time travel?
Nice.
He looks between all of you.
Oh, Hanu
What?
looks back and forth. I actually have never done such a thing, except that one time when we went to like rush hour. But no, I've never.
Zell would explain.
Just,
Good.
you're saying that you've done this. Time traveled through space and time.
Yes.
Some of these people have.
Yeah, and Hanu will point out those who have, and yeah.
And this has to do with it. He points at your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Does.
That much animite. Well,
So, for me, Mashad, to remember, is Ammonite like a common thing a person would know in
Oh,
studies,
no, it's
or
not.
is it
No,
super?
no.
It's super. All right, so Zell would be very quizzical at that look and looked kind of Arthur real quick, and back to Fredericks like, how do you know about that? What's the stones?
Sits back down in his seat, and he's like taking like a napkin that he had like tucked into his shirt, and he pulls it out, and he's like patting up the wine off of the table, and he's not looking at you, but he's like nodding enthusiastically. And, I have a theory. I have been. This is something. And then he stands back up again. And he like paces like a second, and then he sits back down again. And he's like rubbing his hands across the tops of his knees.
Take your time, find your words. I mean, I do want to say up front that the Stars and Sea Society is all about finding connections in the world. It's one of the reasons why some of the sects were always looking into precursor runes. So nothing is going to seem so outlandish to us, especially some more than others, but...
To be honest, no matter what you say here, might be a little surprising, but already the stuff we experience has been already beyond understanding.
That's what knowledge is all about. You're supposed to be surprised by a certain amount. That's what makes it beautiful.
Moment. He stands up and see as he like reaches in his coat, it's like long frock of his, and he pulls out a long slender wand. No, I do not mean to be rude, but would you care if I warded against deception?
Go ahead. Zell will stick out his arm.
Would Babette have any idea what he means by that?
Zone of truth. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
See as he pulls it for a moment and he speaks something underneath his breath, and you see as this circle appears underneath the table and around y'all's chairs in a 15-foot radius. Is Zone of Truth starts. I need everybody to make me a charisma saving throw.
Or you could choose to fail it, because he
Or you
will
could
know
choose
if he
to fail
succeeds.
it.
I'm
Right,
gonna
because
choose
he
to
will
fail
know
it.
if he succeed the save. So Zarman will choose to fail it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm choosing to fail it.
Eliza tried to save anyway. Damn it, Babette, why are you this way? That
You
cack,
mean that,
cack
yeah.
don't give a shit.
I stepped away for a bit. Why are we rolling charismas?
He
Zone
did
of
Zone of
Truth.
Truth.
Oh,
But you can,
You
yeah.
choose to fail. Me and Zarman choose to fail.
yeah.
I mean,
I need just
I'm gonna
shrug.
explain.
She's gonna fail. So
Yeah. And we'll-
Kek fights it not
Nice.
because he's not interested in, or not because he doesn't want to tell the truth, but more because strange effect. What is this?
That's saved out of habit.
I would trust that those that are not comfortable with this influence of magic, I understood. But if could wait outside or
I'll be honest, I'm not actually very involved in all of this at this point. I'm curious to learn about what they're talking about too.
I looked to Babette. Do you want the short version or the long version?
As I have discovered, the long version is not something that I want.
So like smirks.
Babette's trying to stay in the room.
I'm quite
You,
comfortable
Master
where I
Kek.
am. Unless you really want me to leave.
I would prefer guarantee of honesty.
Oh, I can give you my word
I
for that. I don't know if that's enough.
I am
Okay,
not very
please.
good at lying.
Okay.
I think, guys, good luck to Babette and Kak. I think if you can please just give us the room.
Can
Is
you
it-
choose to fail after?
You can choose. Yes, you can choose
Yeah.
to give it in
Yeah.
at any time. You kind of just like feel like this, almost like this strange urge to be like. You notice it very strongly, Babette. An urge to tell the truth. It doesn't compel you to say anything.
Yeah.
But you definitely feel you feel as honest as somebody does after several drinks.
Yeah. Yeah, Babette fails willingly. She wants to hear this because she's so confused by you guys.
So
Kek will as well, slowly.
Mm-hmm.
have that very suspicious look in his eye. They're like, fine, no.
And then Babette just leans back and crosses her arms.
honestly, Zeb fucking relates to this man so much, so he's just like, let the man just do his thing. He's gonna make him say be a socially awkward person.
Hannah will give him a very encouraging nod. Like,
Do you any of you know a Dr. Freya?
No, right? I don't think we know. Doctor. Yep. No, we do not.
Looks at each of you. He's like waiting for.
Everybody.
I do not.
Kek shakes his head.
No.
Good. Stands up, pushes his chair in. I was once a soldier in Yalom, and we were sent on a scouting mission to Drakiesna. He looks at you, Zarman, then looks back down. And I experienced. I think I experienced time travel while there. I spent some time in. I spent some time figuring it out. Before I put together what it was that I experienced there. But I came to a theory. Have you heard of the dialectic of fate? It's a very small thesis. It was published during the Apollonian Empire, and then it was hidden, buried. But it had to do with mathematical equations for the ebb and flow of fate. And I believe that fate and time and space are intrinsically tied. And what I experienced there made this near certainty, but I've spent the last many years trying to confirm this theory. You're familiar with the fact that Drakiesna has been abandoned for many, many, many years. And I believe that this dialectic of fate has a part in that. Yeah, not just Drakiesna, no. Other places.
Like, if what I'm saying, getting out of this theory we're talking about, and yes, Gesna is a focal point. You're talking about what happened to the Thorium, and also Michael's wrath.
Yes, you are keen. It is, 3 places of intense change. Unlike anything well seen. Created irrevocable changes. A theory that there's enough power to, if perhaps harnessed, it might be able to refine soul matter, separate the parts of the soul from the other. Animite is hard to refine. It takes immense energy, but Lethloria, I believe, I have not been able to confirm, could have been one such place. I know Drakiesna was. I have done
give an
studies.
cough to that and motion over to the gauntlet.
So at the hearing of that, Zo kind of like unconsciously kind of holds his gauntlet and can. Well, I think I know what happened to Thoria at least.
So it's not from Aiko's wrath and some.
It's
I think
elven design. I mean, it's mostly elven design, and it seemed like only elves were able to where it's.
I will
And-
tell you up front, I was there when the original trade-off happened. It was through a certain individual in Broken Star Bay. So we can surmise that it just found its way into the black market.
And
No. No. That is unlikely. That's such a thing misplaced.
yeah, I kind of agree with Cedric here. I don't think if it found its way down there into someone wanted it to go down to Koyoko.
I kind of want to believe that, honestly, but I think the person, Do I remember? Because I would have heard a few names being said on the ship of the person who did this.
Not this one. They didn't give.
Yeah. I will just
a
give
name.
a very basic end thing as, yeah, when I was young, something felt off about him, but I really don't want to believe somebody came on board the ship with that ill intention, but I can at least try to believe in a lie a little bit further. Anyways, continue on.
In any
I have
case,
met resistance in my research. Unknown ill, and I believe there may be a organization, a conspiracy involving these dialectics, and the goal of refining soul matter. For what purpose I cannot imagine, but that power could have many, many applications. That much animite.
I could demonstrate. We could do right now. I'm still trying to figure out the full functionality of this gauntlet.
No. I mean, okay, yes.
So activate the sword mode. And then he'll also activate the QTF.
The individual who found this gauntlet, I eventually had to step off the ship, but that was the same ship that went to Koiko and the ruins.
Yeah. So it's doing that 15-foot haste. Probably with getting him in it so he knows what it feels like. As you see, it allows me to
Warp the space flux of an individual. It makes sense. You do not know who these people are.
I'm trying to find out.
I mean, I could always find out the name of that person, though I think
Do
it
you
would be
remember
a
what he
very
looked?
painful memory for all involved.
Do you know what he looked like?
Yeah.
Can you draw him?
I mean, just give me a minute, sure. She rubs her forehead. Wait a second. Oh gosh, wait a second. Okay, and this might be a big leap, but a lot of times when she was younger, she did draw a lot of doodles in, when she was on the ship. Can I roll to see how, but she wasn't as good as a drawer back then. Could I roll to see how well she managed to capture this person's features? Because she probably had it in one of her journals.
Me, just flat wisdom.
Okay, so I will look through. I'll ask Sarmin if she can have her bag, have the bag, and then she'll look
Mhm.
through some of her old things. So just regular wisdom check.
Mhm.
All right. 16.
It was a while ago. Um, it wasn't very. It wasn't. It wasn't a good drawing when you had done it. And it's been many years. Uh, so you're not able to find a good picture.
Okay, I mean, I could try. And then she'll just meditate for a bit, just really thinking, and she'll just try to draw something. Reading the journal entries from before and after this happened, and then she'll just try to
As
piece it together. But
yeah, as Hanu's doing that, so kind of looks back to Frederick, and so this theory, these three vocal points have to do with gathering points to the stone, gathering different parts of the soul and refining it. But you don't know what purpose it's for, correct?
Could have many purposes. The applications are endless.
Yeah. I only have, in this sense, figure out 8 logically. That means there's 200 pieces to this one piece. And this one piece has allowed me to do and gain knowledge and very advanced techniques and magic. This is one piece.
I I would very much like to study this together. Perhaps we can glean more.
That would be much help, since this practice is not anybody's really cup of tea.
Hmm.
I do have in-depth notes of my own research of my own.
We will need those. I will go over my own notes and um yes, yes, this could work. Um, um,
If you don't mind me asking, and if it's too painful, you do not have to answer me at all. Do you know how far you traveled in time? This is the future or past.
was it was how to say it was a loop. I
Ah,
nowhere,
ah,
nowhere.
we're actually in a loop ourselves, actually. That makes sense.
or was it like when you look at a mirror and it's facing another mirror too, and you just look one way and you're both kind of looking the other direction?
Yes,
Okay.
good.
That's a
Very good.
yeah, good analogy of that. How did you get out?
Eiffels paradigm is similar. Very wise.
Mm-hmm.
I must think of this. I need time. Um, I I'm a terrible host, but I, I need to
Fine.
be alone.
Yeah.
It is fine. We did spring a lot on you, so
Okay.
He's so socially awkward. Yeah, the Burmese and holding
Fucking
it in.
convulses and dies now.
No.
Arthur lets out a burp and his hands up. Oh, good. I was losing all through partway through that
Mm.
mumbo jumbo conversation.
That was a lot.
We'll bring the nerd by next week, though.
Okay.
We have engagements, and that is yes, 1 week. 1 week.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Hanu's halfway completed with her drawing. There's a lot more emphasis on somebody who you can probably figure out as Tirana's brother, so it's just like she's imagining a very particular scene and just a really rough outline of this person in question. I could say this, though, something that always kind of was a curiosity to me as a kid is he acted like he belonged in two places at once. His body language reminded me later on, I guess, kind of an Omodori, but he
You
spoke
said
a lot of
Omodori?
ways of someone from Zhaola, too, so...
Wait, you see, like, Zell, like, eye open, kind of go close to you. What's his name? Start with a K.
I don't know.
Was he a half orc?
What? Like, his appearance, was he a little bit more,
You looked half orc, half elvish. He looked like a slightly green tinted elf, pretty much.
Yeah,
Actually,
a little
he did
bit-
pretty orcish, but yeah.
a little bit green-tinted? Yeah,
Kumo.
okay.
Mosuchi?
Mosuchi.
Mm.
Tim. He's the one who gave.
Mm. She shrugs. I remember a man like that. He carried himself a very particular way.
Now you see Zell fucking start doing the whole pacey thing, like Frederick was doing, and just like, why would Kumo give them?
I
Didn't know about that. So there was-
believe this part of history to you. Thank you.
No problem.
Escort you out.
Thank you for the food. And then Simon will head out.
She
Leads you out toward through the front door, and as he kind of like also he's like holds the door open for all of you as you go out, and he closes the door, and follows you to the gate. Walking next to you, Zale. I will make my notes more organized. I look forward. Yes, I look forward to it.
Yes, look forward to.
As you reach the gate, it reaches open, and you can see standing on the other side of the gate, arms crossed, is a human. Don't really recognize them, but they're standing there with a pocket watch and in one hand and a spyglass in the other, which, as you guys approach, they collapse between their hands. Another friend of yours.
You don't recognize that one.
I will look back
No.
to see where that spyglass was pointing to, and then look back at this man. I'm like, no.
Excuse me, sir. Who are you? I'm asking.
Salutations. My name is Dirk Winthrop. You can call me Dirk.
Okay, Dirk. Who are you? Why are you here?
I am an adventurer, entrepreneur, photographer, composer, historian, author. Ever heard of me?
Nope.
Okay. Well, the imposing silhouette of flame behind me is Durandrel. Hey, hi, Nara. And you kind of notice he was wearing a slight. You thought it was maybe the lamplight, like just casting on him. But as he does it, the flames behind him kind of get like bigger, and there's like this brief like wreathing of like light around him for a moment. He doesn't move. If you kind of like lean around to see behind him, you can see that there's a about 5'2" woman in what looks to be like half plate, very nice looking half plate, and you can see Hano. You notice immediately wrapped around her arms, both of her arms, and around her waist are Kosseshes. She's got her arms crossed and a very indiscernible expression of this fire genasi, red skin, and wreathing flames for hair that fall down behind her back. But without a beat, yes, but no introductions needed on your behalf. In fact, I know each of you. I simply thought that now would be a fantastic time to put all the cards on the table. It seemed rude. See, I've been watching you, Rockshotten, for some time. Additional curiosity that I honestly almost gave up on. Before last night, of course, when he looks at his pocket watch, 7:38 p.m., you made dinner arrangements with a party known as the Stars and Seas Society. That would be you fine folks. Now, I suspect that you knew you were being watched, which is why, of course, you leave your home invisible every night and morning. But the group that bumped into you knew exactly where to bump into you. A good performance, but I didn't buy the ticket to that show. I decided, as a result, to take the day to do some sleuthing. He crosses his hands behind his back, and I must say, things got curiouser and curiouser. He begins to kind of like pace in front of your group.
Those arms are crossed.
An old guild, centuries decrepit, escorts a princess after a mysterious airship explodes at sea. Members themselves, question marks and enigmas, ties to the Marvesi crime family. Looks right at you, Eliza. And the recently released Valente the Verbose. Nods to you, Babette.
She squints at him.
I'm not certain what conspiracy is at play here. I have a keen eye for when things don't add up. So, I'm here as a professional courtesy to inform you that I, Dirk Winthrop, have opened a case on whatever it is that you are up to. Believe me, it will come to light. It always does. I'm certain the Queen will find this relationship of yours interesting when informed. Oh, don't worry, though. I have no intention of saying anything to her until I know with certainty just how all these pieces add up. After all, I hate to sully my good reputation. I hear the Queen is a fan of my books.
Well, it's good that you don't spread rumors. That's very admirable.
Yeah.
Kak's gonna tilt his head and just say, how do you add something that's not numbers?
Has Babette ever heard of this guy?
You have. Well, even just recently, actually, you saw his name in the newspaper article that Arthur had outlined earlier that day about the ambassadors that were in Auvale, which in itself, but you do know that he is something of an investigative reporter of sorts. He's written many books, mostly like about history and secrets that have been kept by various kingdoms in the past. He's most recently famous for having been the one who revealed to the world that the Omidori Empire had been marching on Lethloria when Lethloria was burned.
Okay.
He wrote an article because he was embedded with the Omidori Empire, reporting on it like a war journalist.
Okay, and he's
Okay.
probably annoying to the cabaret.
His stuff hasn't really interacted with your field of work too much.
Oh, okay.
He seems to mostly focus on things that are thousands of years old conspiracies.
Probably
Mostly a history person. You would probably most recognize his name from that article about the Omidori Empire, as well. But more than that, he's written a bunch of novellas that are adventure novels, essentially,
Okay.
based off of pretty much his adventures and exploits.
Right,
Autobiographical.
Okay.
I thank you for the courtesy of telling us you're investigating us. Thank you.
But
Now then.
why?
So kind of just like.
That is the question that I am hoping to answer. I'm certain that as I seek that answer, we'll be seeing a lot more of each other.
Okay.
I won't keep you from your night, though. Certain you've many interesting places to go. Very interested myself in seeing what those places are.
Okay.
Keg's gonna lean into Hunter. I'm very confused.
I don't know.
So
do we like
why is
pretend he's not there?
You see as he kind of pops from behind his back as his arms had been closed. Suddenly, like a top hat that he hadn't had before kind of comes out. And he places it on his head and he tips his hat to you. Come now, Nara. Let's go find supper.
Alright, does this fire genasi look like she uses particular weapons? Anything? Or more like an empty hand? Or does her hands indicate she uses swords or like bows and shit?
Looking at her, she at the moment has actually a rather large glaive on her back.
She'll give a very respectful
my
nod to
God.
that, and she'll be like, "May your ancestors help guide your aid." She'll give a more traditional water genasi, fair greetings to her.
He walks past. She takes like a brief moment of like sizing all of you up. Her eyes look to you. She kind of say that. She gives a brief, very light nod, barely even discernible, and then she turns and follows after. Watch as they walk up towards the hospital, the opposite direction of where you guys are going.
So, like, wait, is this guy gonna be following us? Do we have to pretend he's not there most of the time?
I almost said
Maybe.
I almost said something when my guy's in trouble. Oh, I do not like him.
No,
I don't know
actually,
why.
No offense. She'll look over to Babette and Liza, but I have a feeling that all aliens are kind of overbearing. Just a little
I
bit.
know.
Just a tiny bit.
He was not Avalonian. You got a distinct Avalonian accent off
Avalonian.
of him.
So Avalonians are overbearing.
Yeah.
No, I think he's
He's
Avalonian.
very stuffy. It seemed very formal for an Avalonian to be an Avalonian.
Yeah,
sorry,
Babette would look offended.
Oh no, I get those. Okay, I'm definitely offending people today. I sometimes get those two confused because they're both ah-sounding things, and I. Okay, sorry. Anyway.
Honey, just kidding, but like, it's okay.
What?
You're doing me. You're doing the me right now. You gotta stop doing the me.
Oh, fine. I'm so good at it, though. She'll say.
I must leave you to the evening.
Yes. Well, you have a good night, Patrick.
All right. Well, we'll enjoy being shark food for now. Enjoy the night.
We've got some packing to do, Zale.
Yes, packing indeed.
You make your way back to Rosemary's, where we'll end this session. Next time, be picking up with vacation.
Oh fuck.
Skipping town. Fuck yeah.
I haven't
Yep.
developed
Oh,
an
man.
ulcer during that, by the way.
You know, being that awkward with Frederick, fucking guilty. I already know it.
Babette has
he was more
nothing to
awkward
pack,
than
though.
Stell. I was surprised.
Yeah, no, that was like...
I was like clapping along. I was like, damn.
I like to think that as soon as Babette said, we've got packing to do, she immediately went, fuck, I don't have anything to pack.
Yes.
Wah.
Oh,
Fuck, I
man.
had those things, but no!
Fuck, what a cute fucking session, though. Fuck. Oh.
You got charmed for a year.
No, you got gas. You got
Part of the yes, you get charmed. So
Yeah.
So he has to always look deep within Pridwin's eyes to be like, I'll definitely
Yeah.
not do the
So
thing
was
that you
Darwin
told me
X Pridwin this entire time? I
to."
see.
No way.
I will cut you.
I also loved the little Babette and Eliza moment.
Mhm.
That was good. Childhood friends.
That's yeah. Friends or flirting.
Mhm.
What a good session.
Then all of a sudden, I take a drink after Cac just mentions that. You're like, nope, I can't unpack that right now.
Man,
I
that was,
just like
that was
occasionally whenever Eliza does like see invisibility, Dirk's somewhere invisible.
Yeah.
What the
right?
fuck?
Oh man, I like the cafe though. The
Uh,
cafe